Dearest mother. Hold on. Brackets, smiley face, close brackets. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so episode 15, OK Computer. Fujimoto of Manuel High is the toughest guy in school. However, when he goes home, he becomes a nice person while he posts on message boards. But when a troll comes to the boards, can Fujimoto keep his cool? Yeah.
They need to have more shows that take advantage of subtitles, like this one does.
Yes.
Or not subtitles, like labeling of kanji. He's called Mister because he was held back once.
So when we start out, like, so any normal delinquent high action drama or whatever, there's always going to be like that escalation of like, okay, I've beat up the toughest people here. There's always going to be that other school who's going to have someone who's even tougher. And our main character for this one episode, Kiichi Fujimoto, is like tough. He's just like hard to the core and such. And then he goes back home and it's really nice on message boards. And it's like one of the, well, at least for me, this is one of the earliest anime I can think of that have like message board comments. Because a lot of the times, like when there was like killer computers or computer focused stuff, it was always like a virus that wanted to kill or took over, or AI that grew sentient or something like that.
I keep trying to think of computers in anime, but it keeps bringing me back to Ritsuko's mom being a brain.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Brain in a computer.
Or that really weird scene in the Gurren Lagann second movie where Lord Genome becomes a sentient computer program and like runs through a maze looking like freaking Reboot and just like picks up a virus and eats it. It's the most out of place scene I've ever seen in an anime.
Lordy.
It's so weird.
So yeah, he'll beat you to a pulp, to death, and then be like, "Hey everyone, I just wanted to make sure you all know that to have common courtesy and respect on these forum posts and on my homepage. If you could do that, that would be swell."
If you're going to be taken seriously, please leave a handle after your next comment.
So then we cut away to Kamiyama being like, "You know what makes Cromartie High unique? There's nobody here!" And there's like Freddy and I think, what's his name? Hayashida just sleeping in the background. It's like, okay.
Freddy doesn't even belong in this class.
Yeah, at least Freddy's here. But he doesn't belong in this class.
He doesn't even go here.
It's like, nobody's even here. It's just beyond being late. It's 11 o'clock. So then he has all the people there. It's like, "I thank you all for coming to this meeting." And my favorite line read again is, it's like, "What the hell is this about? If this is about something stupid, I'm going to fudge and kill you." And they keep going over like yeah, like you don't have to be late here, y'all. It's like you should come here on time. And they're like, "Oh yeah, well why should we?" And then like a bunch of characters chime in saying like, "Listen, when do you go to bed?" "Well, this morning it was at 7 a.m. It's like, well, if you just got here at 6, you were. Oh gosh!
He explains that he's wasting like 600,000 yen by not coming to school.
And then it's like, yeah, then there's Mr. because he's held back a year. Yeah, Ken Harai, Mr. Repeater. And yeah, it's just like, what's so bad about being late? It's like loss of money. Time is money. Like, hey, he's right.
That's
and then another high pitched guy comes in and saying like, "And those guys from that other high school attacked me." Like, yeah, we should go there. And like, if we get there at 10 o'clock at night, we could be there and still go back in time for school.
Their math is all sorts of wrong.
And then Kamiyama and they're like, "And you're coming here too, Kamiyama, so don't be late." And they're like, Kamiyama's like, "Wait, what?"
What?
Like one of the few times he's like against getting pulled into shenanigans in this show. And then he's the only one that shows up.
Kamiyama like, was here.
Yeah. Kamiyama's like, "I'm going to wait 10 more minutes." But wait a minute. If I leave, what happens if they show up? It's like, I'm going to write down and say to make sure everyone knew I was here. And it's like, hey, I was here for 10 minutes. None of you showed up, so I went home. And he's like, I don't. The lettering's a little small. They're not very observant guys. That's being like charitable to them. They're all dumb. So he just like, I better just do like big letters and make a statement. Kamiyama was here.
Reminds me of the Simpsons joke. If those kids could read, they'd be very upset right now.
Oh no, wait, or was that King of the Hill?
Oh, is that King of the Hill?
Yeah, I think it is King of the
Hill. Oh,
Hill.
it could be King of the Hill.
Bobby's putting the poster against the sign in it.
Yeah,
And the principal, being the jerk that he is like if those kids could read, they'd be very upset right now. So I mean,
that's right, it is
same general tone and atmosphere of the show. And then they get upset. The delinquents at that school are just like, "Hey, this guy's coming in on our home turf. He's making us look bad." And then they're like, "Yeah, Kamiyama was here." And then who's Kamiyama?
I think that was my favorite part. They're like, they're so upset by something they have no idea what's going on.
So then So Fuji's like, he goes back. He's like, "Man, you guys are just overreacting to everything." He's like, "Plus, I don't have time to deal with all this nonsense. I got a new homepage to work on."
And then the very next thing he writes is like, it is very inconsiderate to vandalize.
And then someone chimes in saying like, "Hey, maybe they weren't doing it on purpose to make you all mad. It was just unintentionally and against their better judgment." Huh. This guy is saying a lot of great stuff. What's his name? Honey. And it turns out it's Kamiyama. Kamiyama's just like, whew, dodge a bullet. And
you get
and then of course
Maximus, the other guy.
Yeah. So yeah, then of course next day at Kiichi's school, they're like, "Yeah, those guys from the other school are going into our coffee shop. They're just trolling us." And of course, Kiichi's like, "You guys are overreacting again." And then he goes back to his message board stuff. And then there's a troll. There's a troll
in the dungeon.
Troll of all trolls.
And then the trolls are like, "Oh, this guy's such a wimp." Even though they all look the same, they're all wearing the same school uniforms, have the same muscular build, and he just trolls Kiichi. And then the next day, Kiichi's like so distraught that he was taken down by a troll. It's like, "Oh, I don't know what I can do now. I'm so weak. I can't maneuver around his punches this time." And the troll's just walking around saying like, "Man, there's a lot of amateurs around here. There should be a rule." Then he bumps into Kiichi. And they're like, "Oh, sorry." Then bam!
I don't know how I'm ever going to get even with this guy.
Just unintentionally punches the troll.
Well, I wish that way.
This was interesting to watch. I mean, once again, it shows how delightfully unhinged everyone in this show is. Absolutely. But it was, like I said, it was interesting to see internet forum stuff. Because like now that's like commonplace, but back then it's like I can't think of a lot of shows that focused on that, or at least shows that old. Because I'm sure like the internet was still pretty young when this show got made, but who knows?
Yeah, around this time, like
2005?
the internet was mostly like Newgrounds and like live journals.
This is right when I was getting into high school, so I was still using a floppy disk at this time.
So no, it was just an interesting perspective, and we've seen this Kiichi guy in the opening. He's the one who like punches someone, and there's like a keyboard and computer behind him in the background.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, that's where we've seen him before.
Yeah, it's just interesting because this continues to take the delinquent drama, flips on its head, and then be like, "Oh no, here's a new threat." He's not really a threat, and he's not really interested in fighting until it's like, "Hey guys. Hey boss, there's this new guy and who wants to be part of our team, and we want you to see if you can make him a team player or something." He's like, "All right," and then just beats the tar out of him again. And it's just like, "Oh yeah, Kiichi, strong man."
Big strong man.
Well, everyone looks like a man. Everyone looks like they're in their 30s in this show.
No, it's JoJo proportions.
Yeah.
Not as bad, but
still pretty noticeable.
And then everyone's hairstyles are getting a little more ridiculous. There's like like the one guy has a mullet and a pompadour. Like in a way, I don't know how you make that work unless you have just like an absurd amount of hair. But anime.
It is. I can't see pompadours without seeing Josuke now, though. It's I just can't undo it.
No, I get it.
Oh, rest in peace, Billy Kametz. God damn it, I miss you.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
I never got to see much of his roles, and I got to watch part 4 after he passed away, and I'm just like, ah,
yeah,
just so good.
He was so good.
Damn it. But yeah. All right. That's it for that one. I really don't have anything else to say.
It's funny. That's the problem with this show. There's not a plot to talk about, so it's just funny.
It's just funny. All right, Cameron, where can I find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cam's Eye View. I have my own website called camseyeview.biz, where I review animated films and shows from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. I am the co-host of the Renegade Animation podcast on renegadepopculture.com. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/camseyeview. That's where you can find me.
All right, Mike, where can I find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. We're also on YouTube, on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we.
Absolutely. You can find me everywhere at Organoid0. Until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye.